humiliate and degrade you, and try to destroy your spirit and resolve. With only a brief respite, it's time for your interrogation ordeal to begin. The first stages you're likely to encounter are known as TQ. TQ, or tactical questioning, is the initial brutal interrogation phase. A local commander will attempt to extract information from you. At the same time, he's making a decision on whether or not you're a candidate for further questioning by interrogation experts at a more secure facility.
Try and be the grey man, not too aggressive and not too submissive. Under the Geneva Convention, I only have to give this guy 4 details: number, rank, name, date of birth. But what you've got to do is keep your mind alert, say the big 4, appear submissive, not too submissive, and not too aggressive, grey man. Let him think he's on top of you, but he's not, because mentally you're still very, very alert.
Name, rank. Look up, Edward. Edward, look up, Edward. Name, rank and number, Edward.
Name, rank and number!
Stone. 24998 609.
What's your unit, Edward?
You need to try to play the sympathy card with your captors. Always exaggerate your injuries. You're trying to look fatigued, in pain, and weak.
Would you like some water, Edward?
Always take any chance to eat or drink when it's right in front of you. You're not being submissive, you're just trying to survive.
Put it back on the table. Is that nice, Edward? Do you want another drink, Edward? Edward, all you have to say is yes.
Even saying a simple yes could have far-reaching consequences.
If you answer yes to a question, it can get edited in on a tape recorder and can be, do you like Saddam Hussein? And they'll fill the yes in. Do you like Tony Blair? They'll fill the no in. So at all times you only answer your big 4: number, rank, name, date of birth.
Cigarette, Edward? Simply answer yes. It's yours. This is not normal British Army issue, is it, Edward? Only Special Forces use this. You Special Forces, Edward? Are you? I think you're a spy, Edward. A Red Cross parcel, Edward. Sign here, I'll give it to you. Like you, I'm a military man. I'm trying to make things easy. Simply sign the paper, Edward, and you can have it.
It goes without saying that under no circumstances should you sign anything. Once they've got your signature, it could be used for all kinds of propaganda.
Pay attention.
You've been very difficult, Edward. Perhaps we should try another method. Do you want to be dead, Stone?
Never underestimate your importance as a new captive. If they wanted you dead, you probably already would be. The chances are that they are under strict orders to keep you alive until a professional interrogation can begin. Until then, they will take it in turns to interrogate you and your fellow captives, playing one against the other in a constant barrage of questioning and abuse.
Show me on the map where the target was. Do you want to drink, Peter? Yes or no? Do you want to drink, Peter? What's this for, Peter?
Guards! Between interrogation sessions, you will probably undergo unrelenting softening up techniques day and night. You'll be deprived of food, water, and sleep. They'll use sudden shocks, constant loud white noise, anything that will disorientate your mind, weaken your resolve, and deprive you of your senses. Worst of all is the dreaded stress position. The technique of using stress positions is simple, but highly effective in softening up captives. When forced to remain in these positions, your muscles soon start to seize up. It becomes agony after an hour and torturous after several.
But eventually you get used to it and you can sleep, as I have done, in these positions. You have to. It's the only way you survive.
Stone. I'm an easygoing guy. Who told you the General's location, Stone? Write down the name, Stone, and you'll be free. They'll stop beating you, Stone. I think you're SAS, Stone. I think you've been sent here to assassinate.
2409 6998.
Unit?
Stone.
Unit, Stone. How did you insert, Stone? Helicopter? Parachute?
409 6998.
Did any locals help you, Stone? Are you married, Stone? Do you want your wife to be a widow, Stone? Guards!
These initial interrogations are often no more than crude, brutal beatings with no real game plan. You're merely being softened up for the next stage at enemy headquarters, where professional interrogators will have already been briefed on your capture and be preparing their insidious tactics. Once you are in the stronghold of headquarters, escape will be much tougher. This may be the last you see of daylight for a long time. Once inside, the opportunity to escape will be extremely limited. This hell pit could be your new home for days, weeks, or months, and the enemy will be doing everything in their power to make life as uncomfortable as possible for you. This will include the continued use of softening up tactics. By now you'll be desperate for food, water, and sleep. While your captors soften you up, interrogation officers will be doing their research to find out how to make you crack. They'll be gathering as much intelligence as possible from initial searches of your clothing, overheard conversations, and any other information they can gather. They're building up a picture of you. Are you weak or strong? Can you take punishment? What gets to you? Are you cool or emotional? This will be used for the next stage of your ordeal, when a professional interrogator takes over. Our professional interrogator for this fictitious scenario is Paul Ashley, a former armed forces instructor on resistance to interrogation techniques. The interrogation environment will have been designed purposely to be bland and featureless. They want to deprive you of any distractions that will take your mind off the situation. The interrogator will be constantly analyzing your responses and deciding on the best approach to weaken you. He's looking for that chink in your armor that reveals your weakest point. He may decide to be nice and accommodating, or he may be vindictive and use threats. He'll try every approach he knows until he thinks you're cracking.
A lot of people have got this imagination that thinks they're going to be tortured all the time. That is not the case. Even if you control the physical, you don't control the man. If you control his mind, then you have him. Okay, listen to me. What I want you to do is to take your hood off. good start, is it? Look at me. Look at me. Look at me here. Eye contact is absolutely crucial for an interrogator, because what you're trying to do is to get him to concentrate on you. The eyes are the windows to the soul. It's a very true statement. The eyes will move in various locations on a reaction to various questions that are put to them. There are 6 areas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you want to recall something, a past event or something of that nature, then the majority of people will move up into the top right. If they're making things up, it'll come from the top left. If you touch a raw nerve, then the eyes will move down to the left or to the bottom right. The way in which you can get around this is to train yourself to keep looking straight ahead as soon as a question is asked to you. Because otherwise, at one point, you're going to trip up and your eyes will move to one location or the other. Rough time. Now, what's your name? What's your name?
Stone.
Yeah, Stone what?
At this time, I look for any abnormalities with the interrogator. Has he got a big nose? Is he very tall? Has he got big eyes? Is there something wrong with him? And I play mental games with myself. I downgrade the guy mentally to allow me a little bit of pleasure. But at the same time, maintaining this exterior presence of the grey man, not aggressive and not submissive.
Okay, what I want you to do is take your jacket off. Hand it to me. Take it. Take it. Now, hand it to me. Take it. Look at me. Now, I'm just trying to be polite and courteous here, and I'd appreciate it if you do exactly the same thing. So, hand me the jacket. There's no point fighting the thing, is there? One way or the other, I get the jacket. So what I'm asking you to do is to place it in my hand. Well done.
Control is everything here. The interrogator has to maintain authority and command. He'll use humiliating tactics to degrade you, such as making you strip off and get into ill-fitting prisoner clothing while he rifles through your kit.
What was your number again?
24996.
The important thing is to still keep control in your mind. Let him think that he's winning. And if you get away with it, use silent forms of defiance.
Any little bit of defiance that you can get in at this stage is going to be worthwhile to you mentally. But if you get caught, you're going to get a good beating.
The professional interrogator has a motive or agenda for every word he speaks and every action he makes.
You recognise this? Is this yours?
At his disposal will be an arsenal of mind games designed to outwit even the most experienced soldier.
Right, if that's not yours, you keep it. If it is yours, hand it to me.
You're in a no-win situation here. Whatever you do, you're giving him an answer. This is a typical example of some of the many ploys and tricks an interrogator will use to trip you up.
Interrogation can have different approaches, such as the good cop and the bad cop routine, known as the Mutt and Jeff. The idea being that one is friendly and the other one is very, very aggressive.
Give me a call sign. A call sign I can stop all this and get some good...
Call sign, loser! Call sign! Even members of the opposite sex can be used. This way you can get a different reaction from the prisoner.
Would you like me to treat your cuts and bruises?
If you look carefully, you can see Eddie's eyes moving slightly different to what they do when he's talking or looking at me. You look a lot better now than the last time I saw you. How are you feeling? Eh? Feeling a lot better now? face dressed by a pretty girl. Would you like a cigarette? If you want a cigarette, take it. Do you mind if I have a cigarette? So you're quite happy now because you've got a cigarette and you've been looked after. What about the other members of your patrol? How many people were in the patrol? We'd like to know, Eddie, so we can look after them the way we've looked after you. There's a guy that's helped us out by the name of Peter. His name ring a bell? He's told us some of the information that we require, but not everything. What I'd like you to do is to confirm it. Likewise, I'd like to find out who the guy was that was killed. Can you help us out with that one? So you're not interested in your own men? So look at me. Look at me.
Why did I faint? Not because I was feeling faint. Pure and simply to get out of the interrogation room. If he feels sympathy for you, you can get taken out and hopefully you'll get a bit of rest. It doesn't always work, but it's worth a chance.
Fainting is a thing that can be used to get out of an interrogation. However, in a lot of places, all he would get is severe kicking and beating until he got up.
Interrogators will always use fellow captives against each other. But those with injuries can be particularly weak and vulnerable. One of the members of Eddie's squad, Mac, who had been seriously wounded and left to fend for himself, has been found, treated, and is now fit enough to be interrogated and possibly exploited.
Okay, I'm going to take your blindfold off. Look at me. How are you feeling? Look at me. If you're okay, blink your eyes. Well done. Want some food? Want some food? Look at me, Stone. Look at me. Okay, this chap here, he's cooperating with us. He's been looked after medically. He's also got some food and he's got some drink. So if you cooperate, you get food, you get drink. Put your blindfold on.
At this stage, I'm glad to see Mike. He's been better treated.
Guards, take him back to his cell.
He's been hospitalised, and he's not looking too bad. I know Mike hasn't cooperated. I know he's doing exactly the same as I would do. Get the food and get it down your neck. And keep your mouth shut.
Take your blindfold off.
When you're under stress or lying, your subconscious mind can easily betray you. The slightest raise of an eyebrow or twitch of the nose can be an indication that you're covering something up.
Every time I see you, I find out something different. Every time you come in here, there's something about you that comes across. So by thinking and sitting there saying nothing is wrong. Body language is a very important tool for an interrogator because with it, he can ask you questions that you will react to in different manners. The eyes might screw up if you ask him a very sensitive thing or something he's not terribly happy with, or the fists might start to clench. In which case you know that the questions that you're putting to the captive is having some reaction and you can use against him over and over again. You were caught using this piece of equipment. So who were you calling? What was your call sign? Show me where you were caught and where you were going to. Would you like some food and drink? At some stage you're going to need food and water to keep going. Because without those you're going to be nothing. You'll die. But do you want to live?
There comes comes a stage where the softly tactics may fail, and the interrogator will resort to threats and abuse.
Look at me! Look at me! What was your call sign? No point standing there looking like that. All I want to know is your call sign. I'm asking you, what was the call sign? Are you stupid, man, or what? You put yourself all through this rubbish.
He'll start a relentless routine of verbal and physical attacks, threatening your life and the lives of your comrades. This is where your willpower and strength will be tested to the extreme.
Look at me! You're not doing yourself any favours!
If they were going to kill you, they would have killed you a long time ago. They still think you've got information. Verbal abuse and physical abuse, then you get used to it after a period of time. The pain, you know you're going to get a kicking, you just accept it and get on with it.
After a certain time, you will have achieved your goal by holding out long enough to allow command to realize you are missing and the mission has been compromised. They can then take the appropriate action. You've won, and it's time to think about protecting yourself and your men.
When he gets the pliers out and starts snapping your fingers, you're going to start telling him something. Feed him little snippets of information. It doesn't have to be the truth, as long as it's a half-truth. Gives him something to work on. Gradually, over a few days, he will get the picture and he will start fitting things together. That will keep him happy and keep all your fingers intact.
But quite a while now to think about other things, haven't you? All the time, your friend has been deteriorating very, very badly. So in order for you to save his life, you've now got to start cooperating. Do you understand me?
I don't know, mate, honestly. Was that guy, Johnny, I think, you know?
What was his name?
I think it was Johnny. I mean, I didn't even know what his other name was. He was just telling me what he'd do.
You were caught using this.
I took it off his body. Hotel 1, this is Charlie 19. Ready for pickup, over.
What was your call sign?
Bravo 19.
So if you were using it trying to get hold of somebody, you must have known on the map roughly where you were. Could it have been this beach here?
I really don't know.
Was that your extraction point?
I don't know, mate. I was kept in the dark with other things. I think they trusted me, you know, because you know, I was strange into these people. Ah! What's for that? Can I get a drink?
I can organise that for you. I'm still curious to know which beach you were at.
I really don't know.
I need a little bit more than what you're giving me now so I can get some treatment to your man.
I really don't know. We landed in a boat. I don't have a clue where it was.
What time did you come in?
Just after the evening, I think it was. Yeah, it was dark.
Had you been in the boat during daylight?
Well, we know we're in the boat all the time. I need a drink, mate.
What about Maxwell? Mac? I
really don't know.
What was his job?
I don't know. As I say, I just come in and I never met many of them. They never even spoke to me most of the time.
All I've got is bodies everywhere. From you and your team.
It wasn't me, mate, honestly. I'm telling you the truth, mate.
I know that you're lying to me.
I can't tell you what I know, and I really don't know a lot.
You aren't lying to me. You're the man that pulled the trigger that assassinated one of our top-ranking officers.
I can hardly shoot a gun, mate. No, I've only shot a gun.
You have trouble shooting a gun? All we wanted you to do...
I don't know what you're saying.
I'm getting more confused. How can you be confused when you were the team leader?
I wasn't the team leader.
You were the team leader. You were the sergeant in charge of the patrol. Now bearing in mind, your colleague's life is depending on you.
I'm telling you the truth, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty.
Unlucky. That's the way life is until you start to cooperate with us.
I'm telling you the truth. That's all I know.
Look at me. I'll tell you what I want from you. I want to know how you gained the information that made that assassination. Do we understand one another? Do we understand one another?
Understand.
A simple yes or no.
I understand you fine, but
right.
I can't.
Stand up.
I'll try and help.
Stand up.
I don't know how, yes.
Now the interrogator's got a sniff of the truth, he'll continue his routine for as long as it takes until he's satisfied he's got all the facts.
Get these guys to stop giving that kicking.
Start cooperating.
Guards!
The most important thing is that you've done your job. You've got through the ordeal without compromising your command, and you're still alive. Which means there's always a chance you may be rescued, or you may get the opportunity to break out. But without doubt, the best time to escape would have been